how are you all doing, Planet Funk Con?
We just got here.
Well, welcome. Welcome. So this is the Digital Creators panel. I'm Eric Wesselmann. I'm a psychology professor by day, full-time nerd. I love having cool conversations with cool people about things that we all geek out about.
Oh, we should be good at that.
Yeah. You can fit one of the above. It could be all. So today our panelists are Channel Awesome's Malcolm Ray and Doug Walker, as well as Brad Jones, also known as the Cinema Snob. So please help me welcome our guests. So usually what I like to do is like to start with a few warm-up questions, you can riff on, and then we can open it up to the audience and see how things go. So I guess the general question I have for each of you all is, what inspired you to get started as a digital creator?
I mean, I don't think any of us knew you could make a living at it when we started. So that was a big thing. That we were just doing it for fun. I was an illustrator at the time. I forget what you were doing when you started doing Cinema Snob. What was your job?
I was unemployed. I was in between a lot of jobs, but I had made movies. I was an actor.
Yeah, I guess you started off acting, doing voiceover and stuff like that. Well, and you were pretty young when you came.
I was 22 when I joined Channel Awesome, but I was still in college at the time, so I was studying film, and I got into voice acting as well. So I was doing like commercial voice acting stuff, but I was still kind of like looking for more roles, and I saw that Doug was holding auditions for Channel Awesome, and so I just kind of like jumped in on that because I was always interested in digital content creation.
Yeah, and I think we got a lot of it is that we did get in at it was the right idea at the right time, because we were definitely there were some people doing it like James Rolfe and a few others, because for those who don't know, we definitely do like digital reviews, like movies, and the kind of we're definitely back to the angry reviewer, and we're still doing it. But it's definitely changed over time, too. So, but again, we were just doing it for fun. We didn't know anyone could make money at it. At the time, really nobody was. So the fact that we got in at just the right time, and it did turn out to turn into a full-time living, is really cool, and I think does tie into when somebody says what's the best advice you can give to someone that wants to, usually be a YouTuber or just go into entertainment. I always say, do it because you love it, because there is a lot that's pinned against you right now, because we all work very hard, but there's a lot of luck that was involved, definitely. Like I said, just the right idea at the right time. And if you look back and it goes nowhere, like 5 people see your stuff, and you're like, you know what, I do that anyway because I loved it, this is what brings me joy, then you win either way. And if it does turn into something, you'll be all the more thankful, all the more humble about it. You'll see it so much as a gift, because let me tell you, since this has become a thing where people can make a living at it, all of us have seen people who have gone into this for the wrong reasons, to get hits, to get likes, to get, attention and love and stuff like that, and they either don't make it and they're miserable, or even worse, they do make it and they're miserable. So you want to make sure this is something, even if nobody ever sees your stuff, you would be doing this anyway because this brings you joy. And if not, rethink things, because we've definitely seen a lot of stories where people get into this not for the right reason.
Amen to that, focus on the joy. So there's a lot of voices out there, a lot of different formats, a lot of different things you can do, like critiquing, like creating narratives, etc. How did you kind of navigate finding what you felt was your main creative voice?
I just took from things I personally really enjoyed and liked watching. I loved watching Siskel and Ebert. I loved watching, Looney Tunes cartoons. There's a lot of Daffy Duck in what I do. I loved watching, snarky actors, or comedians like, Bill Murray or like Jon Stewart, people that can be funny, but give funny commentary on stuff too. Louis Black was another one. I mean, it's just a mishmash of a ton of stuff that I've always enjoyed. And I like I was going through a nostalgic phase. I think everybody goes through. I mean, God, everyone's still capitalizing on it. And I just noticed a lot of the things I would go back and watch again didn't hold up as good. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be funny if there's something that took it personally? How dare Care Bears not be as good as I remember it, you know, kind of thing. So that's kind of where the NC originally came from.
Yeah, with me it was also Siskel and Ebert, very, very, very much so. I mean, still to this day, I mean, you and I...
We still go back and watch reruns.
We still go back, I'll be editing and I'll have Siskel and Ebert playlists on and everything. And so it came from that. In my instance, it was... Oh, sorry. In my instance, it was more like, it was always funny when they would like kind of get mad about stuff that was really outside their wheelhouse, like the slashers, specifically like Friday the 13th, the final chapter, or Silent Night, Deadly Night, where they are like taking it personally. And like they really...
Or like Baby's Day Out or Benji the Hunt, and like kids films,
like
and like no one even remembers.
Just like going in deep on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And so I developed the cinema snob character to kind of have fun with that while also spotlighting all of these exploitation and horror movies that I love. At the time, they all came from stuff in my DVD collection. So my first episode was like Burial Ground Nights of Terror, and like that same day I shot one for Porno Holocaust. Don't ask. it was a bootleg DVD. It was my way of spotlighting those, because at the time, this was 06, 07 or something, and at the time that kind of movie wasn't spotlighted a lot online, a little bit, not quite as frequently as now, so it was my way to kind of like showcase a lot of these, you know, Italian horror movies and exploitation flicks. In my instance, I had to really develop my comedic voice over time, because I had done a lot of acting, but I was always like a bad guy and stuff. Like I've played a serial killer more times than I can count. And so developing like comedic timing and stuff. Those early episodes are really very much so are me kind of finding my comedic voice, which is why it's cringy as hell for me to go back and watch them now. But you do it long enough and you really develop that for sure, and you get better at it. You get better at talking about these movies. You get better at the jokes. You get better at the delivery. And so, kind of like what you were saying earlier, just sticking with it because you love it. And I did. I've been doing it a long time, and I still love it.
And I was going to say, I'm so glad that you all have stuck with it, because before, you know, I ended up ultimately joining and working with you all. You know, I've always been a fan of watching episodes of videos. And so while I was in film school and, you know, looking for where my path would take me, I was always thinking like, oh great, I'm gonna have to like pack up and move out to LA and, you know, be like a barista, which isn't, you know, necessarily a bad thing. But I saw that Doug was holding auditions. I was like, oh my God, this is an opportunity for me to like actually put into practice what I've been studying, and, you know, also get to do, you know, content creation to some degree, and it's just really cool. It's a really fun opportunity, so I definitely went for it. Myself.
And one other thing I forgot to bring up too is that, just for those who don't know, it's not like, because the big character I have is called Nostalgia Critic and stuff, but it's not like I started with that. The first video I did is actually one of how I quit my job, which was me dancing around this factory I used to work at. I played 2001. To me opening up my shirt saying I quit on my chest, and then dancing around to Bohemian Rhapsody, the just gotta get right out of here. And we filmed that. It's technically the first video I ever did, and it's real. I really did quit my job that way. And so that got some views, and then just for fun again, I did these things called movies in 5 seconds, which, you know, be like Titanic in 5 seconds. I just edited a clip of him saying, but the ship can't sink, and it sinks. The end. I did a bunch of those really caught on big time. And again, I wasn't making money at it, but I'm like, people are watching me. This feels like I need to keep this audience, so I'm gonna keep doing this, even though I was making my living doing something else. I'm like, I gotta keep doing this until this leads to something. And that's when I started doing Nostalgia. I'm like, let me see if I'm funny on camera and stuff. Let me see if this works. And it just kind of spiraled from there. So even when I say the right idea at the right time, and sometimes the time of that's the right handful of ideas at the right time. You know, again, just a huge luck streak. It's a lot of hard work too, definitely, but sometimes it really is like, you know, just kind of the right thing. It's not like I just started the first thing, you know, the first thing that I'm still doing today was the right one. It's like there's still a couple things I was trying out there.
So when you're creating these things, you know, there's different like long form versus short form type things. They both have their pros and their cons. Which do you prefer, and also which do you find the most challenging?
I mean, we've been doing long form for a while. Well, so it's funny, I don't watch a ton of long form. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I don't have time. Because this does keep you very busy. And I always thought people wanted more short form, so I would do like these, I had a show called Entitled Review Show where I give, it was half scripted, half my thoughts, and I have clips playing over it and everything, and then every once in a while, you know, those who don't know, I got hit with chronic fatigue. I still have it, so sometimes it slows me down and it affects my workload. So I was like, okay, this week I have to just do a vlog review. I'm sorry, I'll just give my thoughts. And that's like where Entitled Review Show is like 10 minutes, if even that. Me rambling is like anywhere from like 20 minutes to a half hour. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta trim this down because I know I wouldn't watch this. But I found they were getting the same amount of views, so finally when I found I couldn't do this, I couldn't do a Entitled Review Show anymore, I'm like, let me just try doing the vlog show and see how that works. And they get the same amount of views, so they're, I will say this, if it's short form, it has to be really, really short. It feels like, I like movies in 5 seconds, like even then I guess that was short form. And if it's long form, I guess it has to be really long. Because you'll see, like some people they make a video a year, but it's like 4 hours. And people keep coming back to it to watch the rest of it. So yeah, for me, I guess in a weird way, long form is bizarrely easier. Because I don't have to put as much into it, because I guess people like listening to what I have to say. But but it is hard for me to watch because I'm like, oh man, I got ADHD up the wazoo, and it is hard for me to pay attention the whole time.
Same, bro.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, I get more satisfaction after doing long form, for sure. There are a lot, it is harder work, but like the gratification of it is really, really good, and like the amount of work that you put into it. Like sure, I do shorts, because YouTube likes us to do shorts. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do this 1 minute thing of me trying, I don't know, some Halloween burger at Burger King. Whatever, there's my video of the day. But I just get more creativity and passion out of doing longer form stuff. And it is cool how people use it too, how they use it to have on in the background, either like they'll have them on when they're like asleep or when they're working or doing stuff like that. And that's cool. I do those year in film series. I just did one for 1985 in film, and it's like 5.5 hours long, and I'm drained by the end of it. I need like a couple of days off after the end of it, because they take months to do, but just it's really, really, really rewarding in a way that's way better than I took 60 seconds and tried a burger.
I mean, I did do a series that I might revisit. It's called Diamond in the Rough, where I basically look at a project that's seen as, you know, unfavorable, but I try to find like the one good thing in it. That's all been, for the most part, short form, and I think that's where my bag is, because I've discovered that I can be long-winded, and eventually I start repeating myself, so my thoughts organize themselves in more of a short form sort of package. I did do long form one time in college, where we were made to make a documentary, basically. I did a documentary on homeowners associations, and my mom was able to take that and use it in court, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess that was a passing.
Arts activism.
Yes. I had to fight for a B though.
Well, you
was
just
the professor the head of the homeowners association?
I wonder now.
Your Honor, they use it in court. You have a court hearing about the court hearing.
So, what are some tools out there to help support people who are doing what you do that you could leverage, right? social media, Patreon, anything? Just,
well, again, it's funny because we did get in so early. Whenever I tell people I don't have a Twitter, they're like, "What? What? You don't have an Instagram? What? What?" But the company, Channel Awesome, does, you know, which we're under, you know, and it's all the stuff you think. Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know, just putting stuff out there, content. I mean, honestly, I feel like it's probably more your wheelhouse because I don't do like any of the social media stuff at all. I post once. I have a Facebook. That's it. I post on it once in a while if I have a funny joke or an update. I'm not really the one to talk to.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like, yeah, I use Facebook. I use Twitter. I use Instagram for you know, a business reason because it's like it's a way to promote the video that you've just put up. I don't really put anything that personal on there. It really is just kind of like links to stuff that I've done. I used to be a lot more interactive on it for sure, but the more time you spend on social media, it doesn't do very good for your mental health. So like I really just kind of use it as business, for business reasons.
But with that said, again, just for fun, he started a character
on
Twitter,
and there's that. Yeah,
this has made like news for people thinking it's like real and not knowing that it's satire. And nobody, for a while, nobody knew it was you.
Yeah,
and you're just like, keep it under your hat, and finally you're just like, yeah, that's me. I'll do interviews. I'll do blah, blah, blah. So sometimes that's a good way to like even tie stuff back, you know, to your other projects and everything.
Yeah, those are, it's not related to my YouTube channel or anything like that, and I don't even update that several times a day, because again, you just kind of get, I got a 2-year-old at home, so it's like, oh, I can't be updating this like every hour of the day. But yeah, so since all of my stuff on YouTube is all movie based, there's not really nothing in the way of political humor on there. There used to be like 10 years ago, I would do like some Pure Flix movies and stuff like that, but and they were popular. They were among the most popular episodes that I have. I just kind of like, you know, I really still like talking about horror movies and stuff like that. But to kind of use as an outlet for political jokes, just kind of like how I started the Snob. It was just sort of like, well, let me just see this, and then it took off. Maybe let me do this, and then it took off. I started a Twitter account that's like a fake conspiracy theorist, hard right guy named Gary Peterson, who's like a conservative artist, and it's all bad, but he thinks it's great. And it started really, really, really going viral, and like news media picked it up.
Thinking it's real.
Thinking
this is
that
a
it's
real
real.
MAGA guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, thinking that it's real. And then when they figured out it wasn't, it would still get picked up. Like Newsweek had an article about it. It was referenced on MSNBC. There are memes that I've created and put up that have taken on a life of their own that I'll be this happened just a week ago. I was scrolling through Instagram, and one of the kind of viral posts on Instagram was a picture of the Gary Peterson account. It was an image. I don't know if do any of you know who Laura Loomer is? There's a really viral image of her with her face kind of messed up, and she's with a kid. That came from my Gary Peterson account. It came with the kid in there. It was, the real picture is her and she's just with a kid. I took it, kind of tweaked her face a little bit, put some Easter eggs in the background, and the kid, I grafted Gary's son's face on it, which looks like a kid, but he's got a mustache. And it's a bizarre photo, and it went viral so hard that it really doesn't trace much back to me anymore. Like, I'll see it just in article, like it was in like a Washington Post article where people thought it was real. They were talking about like,
but the kid has a mustache.
Yeah, and like, so there was like not too long ago, it was either Washington Post or Associated Press. They did an article about like plastic surgery face at Mar-a-Lago, and the picture that they used for reference on the thumbnail was her and Gary's son.
Hey, you wonder why people don't trust the news.
She found it and got pissed. And like took the and they had to take the picture down. They had to take the article, had to like swap out the picture or do something like that.
Which, to her credit, that's totally fair. Like, that's a doctored picture from a satirical
It's
book.
like not terribly doctored. Like, even the real picture of her looks kind of weird. Like, but it is technically doctored. So no, that is the most I guess I do on social media. Other than when it comes to the snob, it's really just kind of posting links and everything.
Yeah, similarly, I just kind of post updates on like projects I'm part of, or if there's like a new stream video coming up. I dance, so I post a lot of like my dance material on there. It's just like a business networking sort of tool to just kind of like, you know, engage people and meet people and collaborate potentially. Yeah.
Well, as a follow-up question, Malcolm, you said you came to this as a fan first.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and so putting the fan hat on,
Yes.
right? What are ways that perhaps creators could reach fans more that we're sort of that we're in our myopia we're not aware of?
Right. I mean, when it comes to content creation, like the content creators, most of us, are online a good amount. And so if there's someone that we're looking for or someone that we're looking to collaborate with, we'll look at their content. We'll look at what they're putting out there. Like, is it something that, will gel with what we're doing? It's like, oh yeah, we know somebody that can do this, that, or the other. And, we'll reach out to the, person through social media. I think that happened recently, right? With the commercial stuff.
Yeah, there was a guy who was a fan. I almost always say kid because he looks really young,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
looks
not.
young.
He's like in his early 20s, but he looks like he's in his late teens. And we saw him at a lot of convention. He was very pleasant, very nice. Just one day, and we usually hate it when people do this. He brought his resume, and he said, well, and that's the thing. They don't even bring their resume. They'll bring like, I don't know. Here's my demo, here's my script, here's my idea for a video, blah, blah, blah. He actually brought his resume, which was smart, because it shows what he can do. And he said, because he's Asian, he's like, I know you don't have any Asian actors, I'm looking, just if you need somebody, I understand if not, I'm just putting it out there, because we met a few times, and we seem to, get along and everything. And I did tell him, I'm like, I'll hold on to that, I might, honestly. And a role finally came where I'm like, there actually was like a young Asian kid in the special we just did, this commercial special, and I'm like, I feel like this guy would be perfect. So yeah, we invited him along, and he played Sekita's son in the commercial special. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, so it's like, I guess, put yourself out there, like if there's a video that you're hesitant about putting out there of yourself doing something, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, because you never know who might see it and who might want to, reach out, so.
The internet is forever back.
That's true, that's also true.
Yes.
Hey, but I mean, longevity.
The internet is forever. So given what you all know now about the ups and downs of navigating DIY career and the social media space, what advice would you give your younger selves that are just starting out?
Man.
Lay off the drugs.
Which, that's viable, but fair.
I guess and you hear people say this a lot, but there is a lot of truth to it as well. If you need to take a rest. Here's the thing, know your weakness. I think that's the big thing. And I think I got a lot of weaknesses like anyone does, but one of them is that I am a workaholic. I love this job. I have the greatest job in the world. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to be somebody that takes weeks off and is like, oh, just get to it when I get to it. It's like, no, it's like you've been given a gift. You honor that gift. So there's a big thing. If I miss a deadline, I take it personally. Like, you failed. And it's definitely one of those things where I know that's not the truth, but it's just something that's hardwired into me. And I think I've definitely gotten better now. It's just mostly because I have to, because I do have chronic fatigue, so I have to step back from a lot of stuff. But it is one of those things where early on, people do say, even people that don't like my stuff, they're just like, but that guy's a workhorse. Good God, he'll just put so much out there. And I do like that, but it can, yes, it can drain on not just your mental health, but also your personal life. So just always kind of be aware of like what you're willing to put up with and what you're not. I mean, know where your limits are. I think that was definitely my thing, where there were times. And again, for me, that's not a big deal. The big thing for me is that when I would plan a shoot and it doesn't go well, and it's with like a lot of people or something, that's when it's like, oh, now I feel like I'm wasting their time. I'm messing up everything for them and everything. That's what like hurts when that happens. So what I finally did, because that was happening enough, I said, however long I think it's going to take, double that time in case something goes wrong. And that really worked big time for me, to a point where now we just usually finish early. But if it does go longer, fine. That's what was in the email anyway. That will go until about this time. But it's subject to change. So that's probably a big thing for me. That's actually, God, that's the easiest way to say, hey, young me, however long you think it's going to take, double it. but for a shoot with people, it just, for planning a shoot, that is honestly kind of the easiest thing I could have said. What's something you would tell your younger self? I guess you already said, didn't you? I got it.
No, seriously. Lay off drugs.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I mean, similarly, I think I would tell myself to definitely double the time it takes to prepare myself to get anywhere, because I also want to like check myself for ADHD, because I don't know, I think I have time blindness. I am like awful with managing time.
There's no maybe in
I'm real.
I know. I know somebody who got me the edible, man. I can help you.
I mean, yeah, like
Please, extra help.
I can help you. Yeah, I think that that is like the case. Because like a lot of my friends, they say like I should probably be tested for it, but like looking at it in hindsight, I'm like, that's future me talking to me now, like saying to go and get checked out. But I definitely need to figure out my time management, because that's like all that the industry runs off of is time. Like, yeah, I beat myself up about it pretty hard, but there have been opportunities that I've missed out on because of it. I'm working on it. I feel like I'm slowly improving, slowly.
Let me tell you, because there wasn't, I had ADHD, but I always feel like my OCD balanced it out, because I was so obsessed with deadlines, and I hated missing deadlines. But it wasn't until the fatigue started shifting some stuff around that my ADHD was getting worse. And I will admit, I did experience true time blindness, where I recorded something and I thought it was like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes at the most, and it was an hour and a half. And I legit really thought it was about 20 minutes. And when I look back and I saw how much time, I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, that's why my body's a little tired right now. My voice is a little sick, because it was something I was recording. And it was happening a couple of times, and that's what finally forced me to go and be like, okay, I think I gotta get on medication. I went years without it, and I'm functioning okay. And yeah, this was finally the time where I'm like, okay, like, so, like, yeah, if that is something like that you think you're going through, medication really helps. It
makes a difference.
It does, yeah. It did for me. It definitely did for me.
It can.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it.
Again, I know people.
So at this point, what I'll do is we'll open it up to audience questions. So feel free to shout out something that you would like our panelists to answer. Yeah.
What is a way that you think the medium you're working in now could evolve going forward? Or what is a way that you would like it to evolve in a way that would benefit?
I mean, it's hard to say, because we mainly make our living on YouTube now. I mean, that's always where we're going to point the most. things we like to change, and it's all the stuff you've heard everybody say, man, just please be more straightforward about what's allowed, what's not allowed, what the rules are. Please don't give all the power to the people that are doing the copyright claims and are constantly getting it wrong and have no punishments for it at all. We get punished if they get it wrong, which doesn't make sense. And you know why? It's because they're more in control, they have more power, stuff like that. And a part of me gets that, it's a business and everything, but and they have made some changes over the years, but man, there's got to be better ways. There just has to be a better way to do this, because that is abused so much, definitely. We still put up with that all these years later.
Yeah, I would like them to go back to whatever their old algorithm was.
Yeah.
Like, when I could kind of freely do spotlight a lot more obscure stuff, but the way they have it set up now, it's just sort of like, yeah, I'll still do the obscure stuff from time to time, but I kind of tie it into a poll winning on Patreon. Like I put 5 movies on there, and they like that. They like picking what episodes to do. But yeah, nowadays it's sort of like, well, I would like to do this thing from the 1960s or something like that, but guess I'll do Final Destination 2.
Oh, could you repeat it?
The question was, what was your question again?
How could things evolve going forward? How would you like them to evolve in your medium?
I want like less AI, I guess.
Like,
I know, right? It's gonna be something that we need to just find a middle ground, like something like where it's helping the creators and not like taking away jobs. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've been on a few panels where AI has been discussed a lot, and both the people who say it should be abolished, and the folks who are like, well, it's a tool, right? It's not going away, and so how can creators be intentional about using that, right? So like, I teach psychology, and when I teach statistics, right, no one does statistics by hand anymore, right? And so when statistical software first came out, it became a shortcut, right? And same with programs that can write code for you now. And so I guess that's finding that middle ground seems to be how can you leverage it without taking jobs, right? Still being ethical about it, right?
There's been, not much, but there's been the tiniest bit. It is actually one of the few things you probably put together. I'm not really a MAGA guy or anything, but like that is one of the few things that they assigned recently, which was it was like revenge porn and putting AI basically of real people on naked bodies, and like that's outlawed now. And yes, you could definitely be like, oh really, this is the president that did that. But I still say that that's a thing to applaud, that they said, okay, like that's a start, and that's a major one too. So I'm like, okay, that's good. They're finally doing something. Let's keep going. Let's look at just we don't have to get down to the super nitty-gritty detail. Just get to the very obvious problems first, and then kind of go for it. Just the ones everyone can agree is bad and wrong. I feel like that's a good starting point.
Yeah, like I know, like in the union that I'm part of, SAG, like they've started to like write agreements, like contractual agreements, where they're not just taking the actor's likeness for all in perpetuity into infinity and beyond. Like there's agreements made, like there has to be like paperwork signed before that can happen. So like again, baby steps, but I think that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to circle back just slightly because you mentioned Patreon, right? And I feel like lots of people have Patreons, and so what are the best ways to use that platform? What have you found?
I mean, I use it as like to basically get early access. And people use it for different reasons. Some people have content that is exclusive just to Patreon. They might have a podcast that's exclusive just to Patreon. So they might post their artwork on there. So people use it for very different reasons. Me, I get good use out of it by, again, you have episodes up like a week in advance without ads, and also doing polls so people can have a part in choosing what a next episode will be. And it does come in handy for the really, really long videos that I do. Like I mentioned, the year in film stuff that I do. So, like, I just did 1985 in film, and whenever I get a part done, because they take at the least they take 10 to 12 weeks to do, because it's like this week I'm working on the January of '85 portion of it, the next week the February of '85 portion of it. So whenever I finish those portions, I put them on Patreon. Like now you can see the January part, and so people have liked that. They've liked kind of seeing it episodically like that.
I have a question. So, how did you used to handle all of the non-exciting parts of your job, like logistics and payroll? Like I know Channel also probably has a department for all that now, but what was it like before you had all that infrastructure?
Well, I'm very lucky in that I have no business mind. Okay, that's not very lucky, but I'm lucky that I found someone who does, and he approached me when nobody was making a living at this on YouTube, and he said I could put together a business plan where you can make money on this. I'm like, no, you can't. And he's like, I can. And he said, give me a certain amount of time. And again, with my illustration work, I was like, I can go 3 months. I think that's pretty damn generous. And he's like, that's fair. If I don't have a paycheck for you by the end of that, we part ways. I said, okay. But he told me the lineup. He said you have to have an NC video you have to have 3 videos a week. One has to be an NC. So I do like an NC, a 5-second movie, parody, and then like a bum review, an aspect out of the glass, something like that, or just a little sketch. And I did that for about 3 months. The channel was growing, the views were getting, and I'm like, okay, it's coming. Okay, sure enough, he had a paycheck there, and I'm like, well, that's more than I'm making at my illustration job. Okay, well, let's see if it keeps going. And it just kept going, it kept increasing more and more. So a lot of that stuff is this guy. And I guess, again, it's knowing your weakness. It's knowing I'm not good at it and knowing I don't like it. I like just paying attention to the creative angle. But there are people that can do both, and there are people who are brilliant at being, business entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and can crunch the numbers and stuff like that. I mean, that is just a foreign language to me. Numbers go in my head, it just gets jumbled right away. So yeah, for me, it was definitely finding someone. But and it's not often, but if there is something like, I'm not happy with this, I think we should do, I will mention it, but it's very rare because he allows a lot of creative freedom. And so yeah, for me, it was a matter of finding the right person to do all that and having them prove themselves, not just one, but sort of over and over and over to a point where it's like, okay, I do have trust with this person.
And he's got great instincts too on what will catch on and what wouldn't. Like he definitely does his research on if you pitch a movie that maybe you would want to spotlight, he's got a pretty good instinct on if it wouldn't do well or not.
He's also good at knowing when something doesn't do well, if it's going to catch on later.
Oh, yeah.
We have someone that does work so hard, and some of his videos do very, very well, but they're very much in the, Walter Benazir, for those who don't know, he does like Fanscription, Batman, Twilight, October's 8 does all these theme months. But usually out of the gate, they don't do that great, but over a long period of time, they do get tracked, and not only that, they bring in more subs, because it's reaching out to different crowds we don't usually talk about, or we don't usually connect with. So yeah, that's something where no, you keep doing this because it's not going to do much now, but later, years later, it's sometimes even a year later, it'll do good money, and it'll keep doing good money. So yeah.
Would there be any utility to, like in this case, you happen to find someone who had the skills that very much shored up your weaknesses? Would there be benefits to, going out and taking an online small business management course or open access books or something?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
And sometimes I do tell myself I gotta teach myself more stuff. Like there's an audio issue in the last video I did. I'm like, I can't believe it. What the hell, my God, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking up, there's a hiss in the video, and I just said, why is there a hiss in a video? And it says, here's why there's a hiss, and here's how you can get rid of it. I'm like, and I click on it, and it's showing all these details that I can use. Those are different editing software. I'm like, okay, let me try my editing software, see what it says. Oh, there's that, okay. I know a new skill now, okay, you know, like that's nice, you sort of discover that. And honestly, that's something where I don't even think I need to tell you all. A lot of you probably been raised with much more technology than I have, so you're probably already used to a lot of that.
We had top loader VCRs.
But it is a handy tool to still be able to teach yourself stuff. At the same time, I've definitely known people who have been too much that. They'll focus so much on all the other tools and things, and then just completely lose track of what they were supposed to be working on in the first place. So again, that is something to just, you know, try to balance that out.
Yeah, that's definitely my neurodivergence. I zero in on something and I spend all the time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other audience questions?
So what would you say the biggest, I'm trying to figure out like your biggest learning perspective, like what is the biggest thing that you've, or what is the most important thing that you've learned from making like a mistake or having anything like that? Like something that we can learn from.
Honestly, you kind of said just learn from it. I think there's...
What instances would you say?
What instances? When something doesn't work, I find I take it much better if it's just me. That's one of the reasons I like to write, direct, edit, act, you know, because if anything goes wrong, it's all me and I can change it. I don't have to go to the studio, go to the scriptwriter, go to the producer. No, it's me. I see the problem. People tell me what the problem is. I can change it. Where it gets rough is when I do bring in more people and then something really, which isn't often, but something really doesn't work, really backfires, and they're attached to it. They put all that trust on you. It's like, oh man. So I did find with me that with my videos, I used to like to, there's a difference between experimenting and taking a gamble. And I did find if I'm going to experiment, I could do that with a cast. If I'm gonna take a gamble, that I should do on my own. That should be my own thing. You know, other people that are involved in stuff that probably shouldn't be a part of it. Or at the very least, they should know going in that this could be a gamble. And again, it's rare. We've been so lucky to the careers that we have, and they've gone as long as they have, and as successful as it has. But yeah, when something, and nobody's like come to me and yelled at me, you should have blah, blah, blah. Nobody's done that, but like, you know that their name is on this, their face is a part of this. This has probably hurt them in some way, and it's like, oh man, that's the worst. So it's not that I've completely taken out the elements of, you know, taking a gamble. It's that when I do, I make sure it's more just me. I'm the one taking the gamble. I'm not bringing in other people into it. Yeah, I mean, this is something I always kind of do, but I guess a lot of people don't. Just if something doesn't go over well, or just falls flat, or even like does really bad, like it's kind of like the popular thing to hate or something like that, just roll with it. I mean, we're very lucky that we're in comedy, so we already know how to do this anyway, but there are even people in comedy don't always know how to take a joke. And I think if you show, no, I got a good head on my shoulder, I am still thankful I have this job and you all are watching and everything. As long as people see that and not say, well, you didn't get, you're an idiot, you're more, I don't respect any of you, blah, 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 it's just gonna make you look worse. And that is one of the reasons I'm not on Twitter and stuff like that, because I'm an emotional animal like anyone is. If I don't want I don't want the internet at my beck and call when I'm in an emotional mood, you know, kind of thing. So that's something where I always thought just everybody in entertainment knew that, but I guess we're seeing more and more they don't. And that's something where I guess I'm seeing more and more how valuable that is. And it's something in the long run, because short run, people, you know, sometimes people talk about it, but most of the time they'll just sort of pick up after a while. Oh, that's the level-headed guy. He's not to either extreme, or he doesn't lose his shit unless it's for entertainment. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something that's been very helpful.
It's trying not to be too terribly dated either, like something that won't make much sense years from now. I did a episode recently where I went back and redid a Cinema Snob episode I did on the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because when I made the review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was back in the Blip TV days, which was where we were for a bit, and then we went back to YouTube. The Blip TV, you could kind of edit any way that you want. Like, it was kind of a Wild West in terms of copyright. Like, so there's a lot of stuff that we did that either for copyright reasons or quality reasons, we wouldn't repost over on YouTube. But I've been doing a lot of episodes on the sequels to Texas Chainsaw, so like I should go back and redo the first one so that I can also have a review for that over on YouTube. And I went back and I was rewatching and rewriting the review for it, so I was rewatching the old review that I had for it, and I'm looking at it going like, what am I talking about? Like, I'm making these jokes, I don't even know the context to them. It must be something from 10 plus years ago that I'm referencing, I don't know. Or like, what was it? It was, had some joke in there about National Lampoon's Vacation, and I said something like, there should be an R-rated reboot or something like that, which was before the actual R-rated reboot came out. It was horrible. And I'm like, oh my God, that aged like a shit sandwich. Like, so, for a while I've been like that though, where I've been like, I'm gonna try to make these episodes that they can still work if you're watching it several years from now. And I solidified that when I watched that old Chainsaw Massacre review, where I'm like, this might as well be in a different language. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I feel like that type of skill, like, it's almost meta thinking, right? You're like kind of projecting into the future, trying to perspective take and imagine. That probably has to take a lot of practice to develop, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, especially, yeah, there's so many things where I look back at my old reviews and I'm just like, oh yeah, that was popular at that time. Oh yeah, everybody was memeing that.
Yeah.
I wonder when this was made, you know, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do try to be a little bit more conscious of that. Now, to its credit, sometimes there can be a charm to that too. I always say whoever the president is, I'm gonna make jokes about them, you know, always. And I know that's immediately going to date it, but I'm like, but that's kind of fun to me. It gives it a little bit more of an identity of when it came out. But at the same time, I don't know how much you just want it to be like, you don't want to be bound by that. You don't want to be anchored to that to where you can't, you know, get off the ground and do other stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you said one thing that we've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've learned to like develop financial literacy because like in this industry, like with a lot of independent artist stuff, you're gonna be kind of your banker. Like a lot of it, you have to file your taxes, and yeah, just having that knowledge is so important so you don't end up in a bind. But yeah, that's about one thing I could say for sure.
Well, we'll kind of wind down here a little bit because there's still about 10 minutes. The floor's still open. Are there any projects that you would like to tease us with that you are willing to talk about?
Oh, I mean, see, I'm trying to think if there's anything new.
Yeah, something you got in the pipeline that you want us to look for.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many of you know about Lackadaisy Calves? Oh, great! Yeah, yeah. Look out for the first season coming up. Yeah, that is still being animated. We wrapped recording like early last year. So.
My husband and I will.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for watching. And yeah, that's like the one thing.
You're asking at the exact wrong time, because like I said, I've had to cut back on a lot more stuff because I am still. What I have is getting better. It's nowhere near as bad as a lot of our people that have the chronic fatigue, but it has left an impact on me, and stuff does take more effort.
Are you doing any better?
What was that?
Are you doing any better?
I technically am, but after having it for so long, it does chip away certain things kind of without me even knowing it. Then when I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, there are some things I can't do. I can't type as well, I can't read as well. Things are still more exhausting, but at the same time, I'm not quite at that stage where I could be knocked out for days anymore. Like, that's good. And like I said, people that really have this heavy, I mean, I barely have a fraction of what they have. So there's definitely one of those things where it's like, I should not be complaining. But that definitely means that a lot of things where I was like, ooh, I got this play, I got this idea. It's like, just trying to stick to my normal schedule was tricky. I guess I can say one thing where I've worked on this for a while, and again, it's not like a big project or anything. It's something where it's like, I did write a kid's book a long time ago. I have a little kind of animatic short that I'm gonna release with it, and when I release that, you'll also be able to like get the book at that time and stuff like that. So I'm hoping for that to be this. It should be this year, around like Christmas time. So that's a little something I've been working on. But again, I don't want to give you like it's like this big animated project or anything. It's not. It really is just a little thing that like I've liked this story for a while. Actually, Penguin Publishing was gonna publish it. They pulled out about the last third, but even the fact, and they didn't know who I was, they were just thinking because it was an interesting story, and I'm like, okay, even just them showing that much interest tells me, okay, I should keep going with this, yeah, so, and so that's a little something I've got coming, but yeah, aside from that, it's just kind of sticking with business as usual, because even that can be a little tricky.
I'm working on my third book, which is called Skinamax. So it's a send up of obviously like softcore Cinemax movies. So it involves like it starts out it involves like a bikini roller derby team. Then it'll go into like legal thriller territory and then space like it.
Did you say space?
Yeah, I'm combining a lot of Cinemax genres in it to tell this narrative. So. I hope I have it out at the end of the year. That's what my goal is, but I'm still working on it right now.
You probably just made my father in the afterlife very happy.
Oh.
That's what he referred to Cinemax as.
Oh yes, Cinemax.
He referred to it as Skinemax.
Yeah.
I grew up with it.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the HBO Cinemax package. So
it's probably why you're here.
So like I know all those genres, the main actors that were in a lot of them, you know, the two Shannons, Shannon Tweed and then Shannon Weary. Andrew Stevens was usually in the mix somewhere, but like yeah, you knew you would when you tuned in on usually Friday nights, but then it turned into most nights.
Yeah.
You know, it was regardless, it would be a softcore movie, but again, it could be like a bikini comedy, like something zany, like Bikini Car Wash Company, or I might be watching like a softcore, like murder mystery.
Yeah.
It was fun times.
Like The Room?
No.
You're tearing me apart.
The closest I've come to seeing that movie is your movie.
Yeah.
You should. You should.
I can't watch it. I only watch your review.
I mean, thank you, but you should.
It's worth it.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to wrap us up here, and then you're going to be here all week.
Yes, we're going to be
so,
down on the floor there the whole weekend, so if there's something this year, please come.
Yes, so Brad Jones, Doug Walker, Malcolm Ray, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for coming to the first day of FunkCon. Hope it was funky enough for you. And enjoy the rest of your con. Take care.